What's up, guys? It's Shig here,
And Turtle Jules.
and we're trying to start up like this mini podcast shit. Production very, very low right now. Shitty. We're working with what we got, but what we're trying to get to the point here is we will talk about music, the latest music, and the music we like, mainly, especially. And we also want to contribute to our, what do we call it? Our community, our local artists, talk about them, honest reviews. And it'll be dope, because not only will it bring us viewers, and even if, like, it'll give them exposure as well, if they're down for this. Because I want them to come to me, letting me know if they want us to do it. We'll talk cars. What else? Life,
yeah. So think about it. You come from one place, we're from a different place. So we're just giving you a little bit of a flavor of where we come from. We're from Washington, but we are part of Eastern Washington, which isn't that well known. Everybody says Seattle, you know, or we get DC a lot too, but we're from a place called Kennewick, part of the Tri-Cities. Just giving you a little bit of flavor from us, you know. There's 31 flavors, you've only tried one. We're giving you another.
Dabble in some flavors. But today, we're going to talk about Kanye West's new album. What was it?
Mac Miller's new singles that he just dropped. Small Worlds here in the back. My favorite from the 3 that he just dropped. What is it called? Kanye's was...
Yay.
Yay, yeah.
Can't believe I forgot. It was like 2 letters. But yeah, let's kind of like just get into it. Should we start off with Mac Miller or Kanye West?
Well, we already got Mac up, so I don't know. You want to play a snippet or you want to just...
Yeah, fuck it. Here you go.
But I never been tough, yeah. I might trip, I never fall. God knows I came close. I know I probably need to do better. Fuck whoever, keep my shit together.
We're gonna edit anyway, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking... I don't know why the brightness thing is still up.
Music. This is by some artist. I have to fucking have a, what's it called? Rap Genius.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I can't take in the lyrics like I'm supposed to. What the fuck?
Never told me being.
Let's see. Start from the beginning.
Yeah. The world is so small till it yeah. I'm building up a wall till it breaks. She hated when I call and it's late. I don't wanna keep you waiting. I hope I never keep you waiting. Yeah. I think I know it all, but I don't. Why you always at the mall
When you broke.
I resonate with that very much. I'm broke all the time. But let's really get into it. So, myself, I've been a big Mac Miller fan since I was in high school. Class of 2012, Southridge High School in Kennewick. So when I was graduating and in that time, Mac Miller was really coming up. He had just dropped the Kids mixtape. Donald Trump was blowing up. So as an artist, I've really appreciated Mac Miller. There's been a lot of times where I connect with him, not only so much in, how would I say it, like from an artist to a fan level, but personally, you know, with things going on in my life. You know, I ain't rich, but I like to party, and sometimes I get sad, so me and Mac Miller go hand in hand.
That's crazy too, how you can connect with somebody on like such a level of like never have met them, but you feel
like
super close to them.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, side note from like the artist we're talking about, Kid Cudi, that's
Another
crazy.
one.
A lot of people resonate with him.
Yeah.
And like 2 completely different lifestyles. But dude, yeah, Mac Miller, I don't even know. It was like middle school when I got into him, because obviously the age difference that we have. But she was dope. It was always dope. I don't think I ever really got into it back then. But once I started getting more into music, like taking it more seriously with like good artists, it's just like crazy, because he's like a part of the fucking like there's I want to say there's like
a culture.
Yeah, like where they just revolutionized hip hop, and he was a part of it.
Yeah, I don't think he gets enough credibility. He has so many good songs. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing with like the new wave of whatever is just that I don't think they take it so personal. Like, there's nothing you can really connect with. Like, yo, I like to do drugs and drink as much as the next guy or whatever, you know, whatever. I smoke a bunch of bud. But there's no, like, personification in their lyrics of who they are as people or, like, what they stand for. Now, I'm not saying, like, Mac Miller is, like, a fucking messiah or whatever. But, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? He doesn't have the fear to dabble in something. Even if he, maybe, you know, like, let's say, Divine Feminine, that's my least favorite album.
Makes
like,
sense.
You told me the other day, like, you know, we respect him for going there artistically, but for us, it just didn't touch a tone, you know? Like, it was a love album, but, I mean, you could go to Good AM, and ROS is, like, you know, one of the best songs he's ever dropped pertaining to love. But it depends, you know, every person has their own description or, you know, whatever of how they take the lyrics.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird too, because like as an artist, you feel like you have to evolve into something bigger and better. So it's crazy, because if you really think about it, what year did he say you first started listening to Mac Miller?
Shit, I don't know. I want to say, so I graduated in 12.
Okay, 2012.
So 10-ish, 11-ish, right before then.
We're in 2018 right now.
Yeah, yep.
And he's still out there making music. It's crazy. Like, he's not always dropping something.
Yeah.
But you know something's eventually going to happen. And it's crazy because from kids to now, it's evolved so much. But imagine, like, if you really had to stick to the kids' vibe. Like, it's crazy because it just can't work.
So it's weird, yeah, because, I mean, I think of it as, like, I grew up with it, you know what I mean? But that's the whole thing, is, like, growing up. Like, he grew up as an artist, but as a person also. Now, he took a different path in life, you know, obviously having the money. And like he says in these newer songs, sometimes you don't know how to cope with it, man. Like, there's just a lot of things, like, you go through day-to-day life. Like, man, I don't know. I suffer from depression sometimes, you know, like, I wouldn't say sometimes. So, like, it's a thing, you know. I know that it's, you know, like a mental illness or whatever. And I support it very much. You know, I could either be taking depression medication, which I stopped taking a few years ago, or I could smoke bud and, you know, kind of just deal with it. But I don't know, he opens up a lot. And as much as he does to try to cover or whatever, I mean, like, the truth gets out, you know? Like, the sadness, it seeps through. You go through things, you know, there's things you wish you could change, and he's growing up too, you know, like he's a person. He's not, you know, he's an artist, but he's a person, like.
And it's crazy that you say that. Like, I wouldn't say it's the craziest thing, but it's crazy how fame and like popularity puts a worth on a person, like money's worth on a person. Like, that just kind of like draws the line of person and valuable person. Like, you're not looked at the same because you're worth more than somebody else. And it's weird because it shouldn't be like that, and we all know it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
But once you start looking at somebody that's made such like an impact, you're like, fuck, like, I can't treat him like a regular ass person.
Yeah.
But even though you know you should.
Yeah, you should. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people like to be higher than others. I'd like to believe that Mac Miller is one of, like, the artists that I grew up with and I appreciate very much. I'd like to believe he's down to earth or whatever, but some dudes, you know, they need that shit. They need, like, the boost in confidence or whatever. They got picked on or whatever the fuck as kids, and, you know, there's always some bullshit story, but on how they treat people and how we view them, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think about it, and, like, sometimes I just... With him, I know he just got a DUI. I know he just broke up with Ariana Grande. I don't know how he took it. Sometimes I wish, like, I could write a letter to him or some shit and, like, he respond, but, you know, he's a busy dude, whatever. But, I don't know. it just, what is he going through, you know? And like, what is he thinking? This is Small Worlds is a really slow tempo song, which from Mac Miller, you don't really like, you don't feel that vibe from him, you know?
No, yeah, and it's weird because how you said it's like slow vibe.
Yeah.
I would expect it to be like something on Divine Feminine where it is slow and like all romanticized.
Yeah.
But this is completely different, like on a whole different level than Divine Feminine, which I love. I love what he brought to the table with these 3 songs: Programs, Small Worlds, and Buttons. But do you think this one would relate to Ariana Grande, like where he references her or something?
In Small Worlds, I think I'd have to look up. So I use Rap Genius a lot, or I guess it's just Genius now, but because I really take a lot of effect into the lyrics. I know a lot of people are beat people, or you know, what instruments the artist is using, but I go into lyricism very definitively. Like, I love lyrics. People have called me like a human jukebox. I can sing a number of genres or songs that I like. So Rap Genius, Genius, whatever. See, that's how far back we go. It wasn't even Genius when we started using it, and it wasn't even a fucking app either. So like, I go in there. They have verifications of artists and shit, and like, I like to think, you know, I like to know what they think, because some artists do like try to stay committed to verifying their songs and explaining what they mean. Mac Miller, not so much lately, but I mean, I get it, you know what I mean? He has his own life going on and shit, but there's some songs back in the day where he verified, and he, you know, there's some funny shit. Like, I remember I was looking up these lyrics, and I can't remember what song it was, but yo, I mean, he admitted, he was like, yo, I had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. So you're just like, alright, I mean, he's just a normal dude, you know? Like, it rhymed, sounded good, so he put it on a track.
Some Action Bronson.
Yeah, exactly. Some Action Bronson shit. But dude, another one, shout out to Action Bronson. Dope. He's a dope artist. One of my favorite, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. For this song, I think he took like an introspective look at himself, and maybe the decisions he's making, maybe he's not so proud of them, but you know, he pushes on. He accepts his faults and his flaws, and he just fucking goes for it, man. Like, that's all you gotta do, is you gotta keep going on. Like, you know, he could give up, like he said in the song himself. Like, you know, I've come close. Like, you know, I don't trip, I don't fall. I've come close, God knows. Like, you know, what are you gonna do?
I came close. Don't try this at home.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't think he means some jackass shit, you know what I mean? I know what it's like to be in a dark-ass room by yourself for days on end. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes it's just like, that's what life is, you know? Not every day is going to be sunshine, especially, you know, for us, it fucking snows here. Like, you know, there's days where you have to stay in or whatever, and, you know, everyone finds a way to deal with it. How Mac Miller does, I'm guessing, you know, he talks a lot about drugs and shit. I was listening to Faces, yesterday, and I know, like, that was a fucking pretty drug-heavy mixtape. He fucking went hard as fuck, but, like, he explained himself, like, he checked himself into rehab. How many times he's done it, I don't know. I know how it feels to maybe sometimes push away from the people you love because of things like that, but he deals with it, and he copes, and he keeps going. Like, that's one of the things. With this, I'm just glad that he took the time to look at himself and not blame anybody else. Like, he took the time to, like, you know, just be like, yo, you know, this is where I fuck up, and, you know, there was no real solution to it, but he analyzed it, and he went on from it.
See, I feel like he always does that, though. Like, I won't say he purposely fucks something up, but, like, it's not like he tries to avoid it completely, because I feel like after every album or project that he's dropped, after, it's just kind of like this moment of like, okay, like, this is what I did, I'm gonna cope with it,
Yeah.
fix it, and keep going.
Yeah.
So Kids, very weed based, I would say, that he was on.
Yeah.
What was the one
Cheesy
after that?
Mac, baby.
Blue Slide Park, still.
Nah.
Still.
That's
I like
still on my bottom. Like, dude, that's like the, Divine Feminine, and like, they're tying there for last, dude. I did not like Blue Slide Park.
I liked it. I liked it. But so you can tell that those are very like kind of weed based. Like that's what he was on.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, sorry if I miss any of them, any like projects or whatever.
Yeah, he has a bunch, man. Like we're not gonna cover every fucking project he dropped because that shit's, but it's like it's about to reach 10 years and just fucking like the motherfucker, you know. He drops a lot of songs like any other artist, but yeah, man. After Blue Slide Park, I mean, he dropped like the Best Day Ever mixtape. I think, I don't know, somewhere around there. It was either before or after. But you see, there is like, I think that's where he started being retrospective, right?
Where
there.
he has
Best
to be
day
like,
ever.
okay, like,
yeah.
now I really have to dabble into something else, like really fuck with my state of mind and make something that nobody else has like really gone for. Cause so after those, fuck, what was Macadelic? When did Macadelic come?
After that, yeah, I was
After
like
that?
after this.
'Cause
That was straight fucking party, like
Macadelic, revolutionary. I will say, revolutionary
Yeah.
for its time.
for its time, hell yeah, I'll give you that.
And then fuck, I don't remember the order of what any of his albums came out with, but so Faces, what was it?
So it's Macadelic, Faces.
What was he on? It was
Divine
Angel
Feminine.
Dust, right?
Angel Dust was one of the
So-
songs off Faces.
No, but that's what he was on.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, oh yeah, dude, he dabbed in that shit. Like, let's see if I can find it somewhere in here. Actually,
And
you can edit
then,
this shit up. Hold up before you.
So Divine Feminine, he was sober, I would believe. I think that's what that album was on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, he tried to make love like a drug kind of thing, which I get, dude. Like, hey, like, I'm not gonna bang on fucking love or whatever. But every other fucking artist has dropped some love song where they think, like, you know, like their definition of love is what everyone perceives it at, or maybe they don't care. Maybe they just do whatever the fuck they feel, and you know, as individuals. But yo, when you're an artist, the reality is you make music to sell music. You don't fucking make music to connect. Maybe you do sometimes and you hope that this shit hits, but I don't know. With the Divine Feminine, I feel like he went way too, like he tried too hard to go mainstream. Or not mainstream so much, because that shit didn't, Cinderella was on the radio.
Was it?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
What the fuck?
Cinderella,
I didn't know
you
that.
kidding me, dude? Like, yeah. Oh, and then the one with, what's his face? Anderson .Paak. The fuck is the name of that shit? Dang. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Dang,
Yeah.
So, like, you know, there's shit, like, those were, like, the first fucking songs that he dropped that were, like, radio-worthy. Now, I don't know what the fuck radio-worthy means, but I know I'm not on that boat. I don't listen to the radio at all. Not even a fucking little bit, bro. I'll listen to, here in the Tri-Cities, we got 107.3, which is, like, an old-school 90s station. They're playing, you know, 80s, 90s hip-hop, R&B. That's the only fucking radio station I listen to.
I'm more of an NPR kind of guy.
Yeah, so we listen to a lot of NPR too. We're like the, what would you call it? The minority, because we're liberals here in Eastern Washington. It's a very, very Republican-based, state, or, you know, side of the state, whatever. So we don't really have too many people that we could really talk to about shit like this. I mean, we can go to Seattle, and we have been there. We try to go every year or whatever, you know, like as much as we can. We are very car-based. I'm a big car guy. This is my car. It's a 1993 Honda Del Sol. We go to Stance Wars, you know, shows, whatever we can do. But when we go over there, we really appreciate the music culture. They have, like, the music museum over there. What's it called?
Dude, I don't remember, but I remember going to it.
Yeah, that shit was dope. Like, they had, my favorite part of it, honestly, wasn't even the music part. It was the horror movie part. They had, like, a horror movie walkthrough where they explained how they make horror movies. They had, like, props from horror movies. Just little shit like that, you know? We're not hipster or whatever the fuck. We just like random shit, and we talk about it, and that's how we do shit. So on Faces, I feel like it was a real big step for him because he took like this look at himself, but it wasn't like he was really helping himself at all. Like he knew he was fucking up, but he just kept fucking up. Like,
but I feel like at that point, because he knew he was fucking up, well, as soon as he knew he was fucking up, he's like, okay, I might as well fuck myself up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just to bring out this completely other side of him, artistically, like, to make
so
the music. Because
prior to this, he dropped the Delusional Thomas mixtape, which not many people know about. Not many people know that was Mac Miller, and if they do know, I mean, like, what, like Manny? Like, one kid we know, and he's like 15.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah. So, Delusional Thomas was this alter ego Mac Miller created to, I don't know, maybe explain himself from a different perspective, or, you know, what was really going through his mind. Because sometimes, like, I totally get there's shit that runs through our mind that we don't even fucking talk about, you know? And it fucks people up, man. Like, as much as you don't think it does, or as much as you want to deny it,
at the end of the day, when you really take a good look at yourself, you're like, fuck.
I'm fucked up. Yeah. And like, so, I mean, it's cool, man. I get it. I really appreciated the Delusional Thomas artistically. Like, you know, like you said about the Divine Feminine. Just because it was different. It was way different. Like, he was going on a whole nother fucking level. He didn't care if people listened to it or not. He was like, yo, this is my shit. Here you go. Because he didn't even push that shit. He didn't push it at all. Like, there was no...
But it's cool. I think that's cool because he didn't push it. It's just like, okay, I'm going to put this out. And you guys take it however you want. If you guys really care, like, you guys will really support. But if, like, what was I saying? Oh, that if they really want to support, they'll support. But it's not something he's just throwing out to throw out music. You know, just be like, oh, here, like, listen to this. Give me numbers. Yeah,
and I think that's when artists drop mixtapes. I think mixtapes are like the real them, you know, because when it's an album, it's a project they have to work on, they have to go through blah blah blah, so many hoops so they can do whatever. But with mixtapes, there's no rules. Like, they can say whatever the fuck they want, they can do whatever they want, they can be themselves artistically and, you know, as humans. With the Delusional Thomas and Faces coming out around the same time, Faces is my favorite mixtape, Mac Miller wise. I don't know, man. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I dabbled in all of that shit when I was younger. Not so much anymore. I mean, I still drink, I still smoke bud, like, you know, on a regular basis, but all that next level shit where he took it and he made something with it, shit, I wish I would have done that, dude, because I did shrooms and I did acid and I didn't do shit. I just laid there and freaked the fuck out. So, you know, he made like a whole album or whatever just on drugs. And I don't know. To me, that's artistically, like, that's the shit. Like, I appreciate that as a fan. And I appreciate that, like, as a human, because it's something I wish I could do.
But it's not like you can't. It's just kind of like...
It's just not my thing, I guess, you know? Like,
but then again, it's kind of like, as a person... You're just kind of scared to do something you don't know if you're willing, like, able, like, if you're not able to, like, do it to the standard you think it should be.
I feel it.
Because, so you know that cliche saying, be like, face your problems or whatever, you know, like, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't think, just do, because by doing it, you will do it. And you just have to face your fears, like, so, I listen to a lot of podcasts, more than music at this point. Sad. But amazing. I was listening to Drama. Remember Rob Dyrdek's cousin or whatever?
Yeah.
So he has a podcast.
Any Primitive, right?
Yeah, no. Young and Reckless.
Yeah, there it is.
So he was talking to some fools, and to follow your dream, you really have to say fuck it and just go for it and overcome your fear. But that's crazy, because if you think about it, if you really want to do, like, if you want to have that dream job, let's say you being a YouTuber or some shit, you really have to commit to it. Or like anything, like if you want to start up a brand, you have to be willing to fuck up. Like like that is, there's no way around it. You're gonna fuck up. But like for me, I'll be like, okay, like I'd really like to get into that business, but I'm scared of fucking up. So I'm just like, I'll just step back, be like, I'll just keep my job. Maybe I'll pursue it. Maybe I'll pursue it another time. But like, fear is a real thing.
Yeah. So I had changed to it the other day.
This fool came over that. Like,
oh yeah, dude, big time. I don't think he gave a fuck from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like ever. Cause like, I mean, I get it. So I got a fortune cookie the other day that literally said, you know, to live a creative life, you must give up the fear of being wrong. So that's cool and all, but that totally means like, whose perspective of wrong are you looking at? You know what I mean? Now he does, like, he's explained, like, you know, sometimes it's not so easy facing his parents or whatever, his own dad or his mom, knowing what he's doing, knowing the way he's going about it and all that shit. Because, you know, I mean, all of us have someone that either we fear or love enough to not want to disappoint. You know, if you don't, I really suggest you look for that shit, because, you know, that's the drive or whatever you think it is to at least succeed in some way, you know. Now, artistically, you have to break the boundaries. You have to push the boundaries, because, like, you know, or else what? You're just gonna fit the mold of everybody else around you, and that's the thing, dude. Like, now, like we said, he did come at a time that revolutionized hip hop, but it's weird because he didn't follow the same path a lot of other artists did. Like, because Kendrick Lamar was getting hot at that time, J. Cole was getting hot at that time. Who the fuck else? I don't know, man. I mean, like, you guys know, if you're like a big music head or whatever, I wouldn't even say hip hop head, because I dabble in every fucking type of music there is. But for, like, these artists and the way you see them grow as people and as artists or whatever, because, oh yeah, like Childish Gambino at that time too, he dropped like Bonfire Camp, all that shit was coming out.
See, but it's weird, because if we're going to talk about Childish Gambino, when that dropped, I feel like it wasn't the biggest thing. Like, it wasn't a moment where he was getting hot. Like, he was introducing himself as an artist. Like, obviously he had his previous projects, but like, album wise, like, first album
is, yeah,
and I like it.
What I like about Childish Gambino is what he did videography wise. So Bonfire was a dope ass song. To me, that shit's always gonna be dope. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. Camp, though, I liked because it was a real okay, so like, let's compare Camp to Divine Feminine on your outlook of love, because if you think about Letter Home, The Power, you know, you think of all the shit that he was really brutally honest on, dude. Like, shit, like, you'd be like, what the fuck is this nigga writing in his diary, or is he like making an album? He was brutally honest on that album, even though none of us really got the fuck, because he was like, okay, he fucking, you know, he was explaining his personal experience, so obviously we can't connect, but everyone has that story, you know, everyone has something, everyone can relate, everyone dedicates a song to somebody. I don't know, man. For me, to the way that they went and then the way that Mac Miller went was like a completely different fucking, it was a different path, like completely different, because you hear J. Cole, you hear Kendrick, you hear Childish Gambino, you see their videos, you hear them on the radio, and you know, whatever. But Mac Miller, it's like, dude, he don't care, like, he don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, he's just doing the shit that he loves to do because he likes to do it, you know? He respects the music as the art that it is, not as this thing that they've made it, like, you know, capitalism and you gotta be this way or you gotta talk this way. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on the way.
How record labels, they really manipulative.
And that's true, dude, because I don't know if many people know this, but Mac Miller is not on he's not on a fucking major label. He has his own label. I wouldn't say he sold out or whatever at any point, because, you know, but he knows the game, man. Everybody knows the game. Now, whatever way you want to take that or do with it, you know, he knows, I don't know. He just does what he wants to do, and that's probably why he does so much of it, because no one's telling him he can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whereas, like,
and labels, they just like fuck you over. Like, if they don't want your shit on an album,
yep,
they won't put it on the album, even though the artist really wants it on there. Like, it's crazy. You come to think that like artists have all this power over the album, but really, like, let's say there's an album, but there's no radio banger.
The album ain't selling.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Dude, I was listening to I think Action Bronson podcast or something like that. I forgot what it was, but he was talking about one of his albums, and the records are like, we need some fucking hits on this, like some singles and shit. We need some singles, and like he had to make the singles, but he was saying like, oh, he made them. He didn't give a fuck about them because it's not what he really fucking wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
But he made it because that's what they were needed from him. I was like, okay, like I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy because like he didn't give a fuck about them.
And that's something I've always appreciated about him. They have a good song together, Mac Miller and Action Bronson. What is it on? Watching Movies with the Sound Off? It is, I think.
Yeah, Red Dot Music.
Yeah, so Red Dot Music. That was a cool collab for me. I really appreciated that collaboration. I don't know, man. Speaking artistically of people who like push the boundary and do whatever the fuck they want, Action Bronson is a very, very good example. There's just, I don't know, man. It just totally depends on what you want to do with your life and then like what way you want to keep on going about it. Because in the reality is like, you get one chance, man. If whatever you believe in, you know, whether it be you go to heaven, go to hell, whether you believe that you're gonna, you know, live another life, you know, I say you do the best you can with what you have in this instant. Because
I was gonna put Mac programs, but that just sounds like
a
Mac
computer. Yeah.
Let
it play for a bit.
I don't got a reason to lie. They gave me the key to the sky, but I'd rather open my eyes, cause that's what'll keep me alive. Something that sees in my mind, can't you not fuck up my day? Everybody want a headline, I don't got nothing to say. Except I'm coming back with the freshness. You know I love making the entrance. Now, don't get defensive. Time is a matter of seconds. 1, 2, yeah. Off to see the wizard, leave the pics for me.
programs. How do you like it?
Well, it's definitely more upbeat. So one of the first things that I told you when I sent you the songs the other day was that I really missed this Mac Miller. So he hadn't dropped anything since Divine Feminine. There's nothing. There was just like this blank space of him just, I don't know, whatever the fuck he was doing with Ariana Grande. Fuck her.
See, okay, now you say fuck her. I get it, because you explained to me like why you thought it was better, because it just brings him back to his roots.
Yeah.
But when I saw that album, not an album, the song where he first had Ariana Grande on, I was like, okay, like this looks good. This looks good on them. They look good together. I was like, okay, I don't know him. I don't know exactly what he's feeling, but I'm happy for him regardless. They looked happy. Who knows how everything really was behind the closed doors. But I'm like, okay, like this fool really probably found love. I'm like, good for him. Like, but it's crazy. Now that I think about it, like, okay, he didn't. But he's still super young.
Well, you can't say he did it, man. Like, you know, the breakup was totally her choice, you know. But it was based on the choices that he was making. So I don't demonize her for it. But that's just, and I'm not gonna bash on women or whatever. But that's a woman getting with a guy who she knew had problems, bro. Like, he publicly talked about them. He publicly said, "Yo, I'm a druggie." And her thinking that she was gonna fix him by making him go this right route, whatever that might mean. Yo, she was on fucking Nickelodeon. Now she wears fucking, you know, what does she wear to fucking concert? Whatever, you know, I don't judge a woman by what she wears. But, yo, like, her lifestyle has completely changed. You can't say that she went a right way or she went a wrong way. But Mac Miller was public about the way he was. He would never said, hey, I'm a role model, you know, whereas she was like, oh, you know, the good Nick girl, and then went into, oh, I'm, you know, badass and I can do whatever the fuck I want. But I don't know, man. To me, what fucked me up was that, like, I've totally been there, and I feel for Mac Miller. Whether he was in love or not, he'll know, I don't, you know. And if it was declining and that's why he kind of went on this little thing, maybe, I don't know. But whatever the fuck it was, he dropped some bangers.
Heartbreaks,
right? They give you
shit.
some artistic, yeah, dude, that's some shit. Heartbreaks will really push you into the next level artistically.
And it's crazy because I feel like because he knows his he's established that he has a drug problem. Maybe this is like his way of coping it with it for real though. Like, obviously, any traumatic experience, artists will put into music. but I really feel like he's cleansing himself from the fucked up drugs. Faces, like we talked about, fucking Angel Dust, through the entire album, that's crazy. That shit will fuck you up, I believe, if you're doing it the whole time to make the songs what they are.
Definitely.
So I really like it. And you said he has nothing to hide. So on the first verse, I don't got a reason to lie. They gave me the key to the sky. So with the power that he brings as an artist, I like to think he's woke as fuck. Because the next line is, but I'd rather open my eyes because that's what'll keep me alive. He's understanding the truth of what's going on. And like, if he's keeping his eyes open, he's being open to everything. Because being open makes you a smarter person, to be honest.
He's seeing the world for what it really is.
Yeah.
Not the way people want to push it on him.
And like, that just keeps him from getting fucked. Which I think is dope.
Metaphorically and literally.
Something that's easing my mind. Please do not fuck up my day. Everybody want a headline. I don't got nothing to say.
Yeah, see, like, he don't give a fuck if you're buying his album or not. Yo, like, he could, he could do without it, man. Like, it's cool. He's making that money, and he talks about it. I mean, like, in Good AM, which to me is one of my favorite albums. To me, his studio album, Good AM, was the best one he's put out. He talks in 100 grand, like, when I finally made 100 grand, like, that's some shit you realize coming from, he started rapping whenever he was a teenager. I think he's like only like a year or two older than me. So he was 19 when I was graduating high school. Like, he was already just not giving a fuck, He already knew the mentality that he was keeping, and he just went with it, man. He just was pushing himself, and he finally made it to where he was by himself. Not by himself, because obviously he has his crew. He's got, like, the people that he works with, collaborators, whatever, producers. But him as a person, like, he has pushed himself to a limit where he could totally break into the next, he totally keeps going. He can keep going with whatever he wants to do. I don't know what happened between Good AM and then these new projects, with Divine Feminine. But now with what he's coming back with, I'm totally excited if he's going to drop an album. Like, if he's going to drop an album, these 3 songs were like what I needed to hear from him to, I wouldn't say keep him in my discography or whatever, because either way, dude, I'm going to listen to whatever Mac Miller drops. I'm not going to say I'm going to like it, but I'll listen to it for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know.
And a lot of his music, bangers, dude. Obviously not radio.
Yeah, but dude,
but dude, Tony, Gabby's uncle, I was telling him yesterday, I believe. I was like, dude, the first times I ever met you, I got in your Camaro. I was in the back seat, and Jesse, T, Gabby, and I were gonna go smoke at the park in his car. And he had a playlist. Only Mac Miller. But dude, this guy, genius when it comes to playlist. Every song, one right after another, went perfectly.
Yeah.
And dude, there's just nothing wrong with any Mac Miller song. It's like, they're just all amazing, and it's like, damn.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, that was like a little tangent, but...
No, yeah, for sure, man. Like, I totally feel it, because, I mean, he's got something for whatever mood you're in. And that's what I respect about him as an artist. Is I don't think too many people give a fuck about how anybody else feels other than themselves. Now with this new wave, whatever you want to call it, like the new wave of hip hop, and then like what do they call it, mumble rap or whatever the fuck.
Oh.
Yo, I mean, I haven't heard much else other than Lean and Xannies and shit. Like, that shit just popped. Especially here, dude. Like, now I'm not gonna say that we're probably way behind when it comes to like the wave, The only reason that we've kept up with it as a community, because I'm not going to say I kept up with that shit at all, is because of like social media. Mm-hmm. Social media makes it so where everybody is in sync with shit. Because back in the day, like, I would go visit family in LA, and you're listening to songs, and then like 5 months later, that shit's playing here.
Yeah. And it's just like this big ass trend here. And
wait, dude.
Everybody's like, all right, like...
Yeah, we're over that shit, bro. But with like social media and shit, that shit is banging wherever the fuck you go. But like, to me, I don't know. Artistically, with hip hop specifically, I've always appreciated like going back, like you got NWA, Ice-T, let's say like old West Coast rappers, because we live in Washington. I'm from LA, like, you know, whatever you want to call it, like West Coast till I die. Like, but like you're looking at back in the day. I mean, like you were thinking it wasn't so much to familiarize themselves emotionally, but what they were going through day to day. You know what I mean? So you skip a little bit. There's Tupac in the, you know, the mid 90s till whenever he passed away. He dropped like Dear Mama. Like he dropped shit like Brenda's Got a Baby. You know, like things that
Classic.
that like communicate, and then they immortalize his community, which people don't give a fuck about, dude. Like if I were to tell you about the Tri-Cities, you're not gonna give a fuck. Like who the fuck are we? You know, but he took it to the next level because there's people that go through that shit every day.
And he's there to see that shit.
Yeah, and then like later, I mean, you know, the 2000s was a weird thing, maybe just because, you know, back in the day with like 99, and then there's Y2K, like the whole scare that the world was gonna end. Cause that shit happened.
Dude, I found out my dad was low-key scared about that.
Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, we stocked up. Like, you know, we had food in the basement. Like, nah, dude. And then that shit revolutionized everything, bro. Cause I remember AOL. I remember like the computer. Like we had an old school Mac. Like, you know, the technology boom that happened in the 2000s. That revolutionized who we were as people. We stopped giving a fuck because you start to hear like, you know, all that old Jay-Z shit. I'm not a Jay-Z fan, whatever. But you hear like Hova, you hear, you know, 99 Problems and shit like that. Like, those are good songs. I don't like many Jay-Z songs, but I'll bang those anytime.
Young Forever.
Yeah, that shit was way late, but yeah.
I love it. But dude, I think the only reason like it really got to me, I think it was for Janet's graduation. They started playing that song, and I was like, okay, like I don't know any of these other fucks, but it's just a really emotional time. Like they're graduating, they're growing up, and you just want to be young forever.
And then it happens to you, and you're like, fuck. Yeah, I don't know, man. But that's where I noticed is that they didn't care about people's problems. They didn't give a fuck about their communities anymore. It just became this thing about, how much money can I make? How am I gonna spend it? You know, bitches and beer or whatever the fuck.
Cocaine.
Yeah, and like, like you lost that, like the connection you had with them emotionally and mentally, you know. So that shit came back with like this newer wave of like J. Cole, Kendrick, Mac Miller. Dude, they were talking about their own shit, like, even like I told you, like, Childish Gambino, they talked about their personal experiences, and they connected to people like us, who, you know, like, what the fuck, I don't know, like, I'm not from, you know, Pittsburgh or fucking Compton or whatever the fuck, like, where the fuck, Fayetteville, wherever the fuck J. Cole's from, and Childish Gambino's from, like, Atlanta.
He's from Dreamville, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, like, on a real note, like, that shit's just, like, what did we... You know, but we connected to them regardless. That's what I appreciate about these artists, and like those that were popping back in those, you know, in 11, 12, 13, all that shit. Because, you know, it just was a new wave of an understanding for people. I don't know, man. Like, a lot of people are depressed nowadays. Maybe you just notice it more because of the social media. But it's just depressing, man. Like, it's depressing to know that so many people are sad and, like, you know.
But it's crazy because you pointed out, is being depressed really the new wave?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. There's way too many things going on, and the only reason we know about them is because of social media. So I don't know. Maybe it is a wave. Because I told you once, like when we listened to Tyler the Creator a lot. I do appreciate like Goblin and all those. Now I'm not gonna talk shit on them, but dude, I fucking listened to Cherry Bomb once, maybe.
Yeah, Cherry Bomb was a a different album. It was very different.
So, but like that's not the point. The point is, to back in the day when you heard like Goblin and like the Bastard mixtape, like, you know, all that old Odd Future shit, they were talking emotional, they were talking hella mental shit, because obviously he dealt with his own mental illnesses or whatever you want to call it. Right now with Kanye West and all the shit that he's talking about, and all the shit that he's going through. Another artist that was revolutionary. To me, I will never hate Kanye. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he says some fucked up shit, but yo, he's just saying shit somebody else thinks, you know? He's just famous enough to where it's publicized.
Do people really think slavery was a choice?
Now, I don't know, man. I'm not going to put my 2 cents in on that just because people are going to be like, you know, this or that. Everyone finds a fault with something, bro. I don't go on Facebook no more because you can see a video about fucking puppies and somebody's going to hate fucking puppies. So, like, I'm never going to fucking put my 2 cents on shit. Whatever, you know? Especially the community that we grew up in. We grew up in a Catholic family. I grew up in a very Catholic family to where, you know, it's very judgmental, whatever, I don't care. Like, I do what I want to do and I do what makes...
So you do what you do.
I do what I want, yeah, whatever makes me happy, you know. Well, I try to, because, you know, obviously money's a big part of it, whatever. That's just how life is. I'm no rap artist, I'm nobody. And then most of my money goes to both my cars. You know, those are my kids. That's what I chose to do with my life. That's my artistic expression in a way or another. But, like, I don't know. If depression is a wave or whatever, I really hope that if you really are depressed, that you seek help. Yeah, fuck yeah. Because like I told you, I've been in the dark ass room days on end. I've got scars. I got whatever the fuck, you know. I smoke bud, and I don't know, whatever. That shit's, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, like I told you with the Tyler the Creator thing, is back in the day, Tyler the Creator was hella bummed. Because I understand, you know, he didn't get to know his dad. Oh, thank you. So... he was hella bummed because, I don't know, he didn't get to know his dad. The mental illnesses that he was facing, heartbreak like you said. And then he drops this new album where, I don't know where it changed or whatever, because Wolf was still like...
I liked it, I really liked it.
Yeah, Wolf was a good album. Cherry Bomb, I don't even know what direction he really even took on there. There was no real, like, substance.
The only thing that set me off about that album that really pushed me away was, the bass, very like boom, like in every song, and like that just kind of pushed me away. Like he experimented with his new sound or whatever, but it's not for everybody, you know.
And then what was the last one? Flower Boy, Scumfuck, whatever.
Scumfuck, Flower Boy.
Yeah. So that one, obviously, you know, I'll be generic or whatever the fuck. See You Again or was a good ass song. That it just is. It just is. No matter what the fuck, whatever anyone says, I don't care if it's generic or it's mainstream, I liked it. But he was really upbeat in that album. And he even said, like, you know, people were knocking him because he wasn't sad. Like, you know, they were like, I saw some tweets where they're like, yo, I miss the old, you know. And you're like, yo, the one where he wanted to kill himself, you mean? Like, and then he was like, you know what, fuck yo, like, I'm not going to sound like that forever. But I brought up something to you back then, which was like... is it just cool to be sad? And then was it not cool to be sad? Because it seemed like last summer everyone was sad, dude. Like and then you just get, you know, we live in a town where the summer changes its whole personality. As a community, everyone changes here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, if it's the air or the river water, or if like the government is doing some shit, but every summer... it just turns everybody... it's like everyone has like a double life, you know?
Every summer they put some of this shit in the chemtrails and shit.
Yeah, and releases some shit in the air. But, yo, so, he was happy, and then I was just like, I remember telling Aaron, like, it's just not cool to be sad no more. Like, you know what I mean? I was bummed as fuck last summer. Super fucking bummed, dude. And then one day I was just like, you know what? That shit's gay. Like, that shit sucks, man. Like, you know, I don't want to be bummed. And I finally took the time to fix that problem for myself. Now, if it is a wave or whatever, I don't know, man. Like, that shit was not cool for me. That shit was not cool for me at all. So if it's a wave and you're just doing it for points, you know, with this whole 13 Reasons Why shit too on Netflix, like, yo, I read the book when I was like in the 7th, 8th grade. So that's a you know, a pretty old thing. It's like they really romanticize the fact that someone kills himself or, you know, leaves this death note or some shit. Like, I don't know. But that shit switched up real quick in a little bit of time. Like, where everyone was bummed and then everyone was like, you know what, fuck it. And I get it. That whole mumble rap thing, for however much I knock it, like, that shit's just a beat. That shit's gonna get you going no matter what, just because of the beat and the lyrics, you know.
The flow of the beats with the flow of the lyrics with the beats, or the mumble, the flow of the mumble.
Yeah.
It's just very upbeat. Like, dude, I'm not a big, like, mumble rap kind of guy, but I'll download that shit on my phone because I'm like, fuck, if I feel like really getting pumped right before going somewhere, going home or some shit, I'll bump that shit. I'll be like, fuck yeah, like, don't know what I'm saying, don't know what they're saying, but like, it feels good, it feels right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it in that sense. Lyrically, not really. There's sometimes an artist will throw in like some real shit in there, but
yeah, but it's really, like in the middle of this bullshit, you know. So it kind of, you shy away from it because you're like, all right, this isn't talking about shit. This is just trying to make some money. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. As far as artistically and all that depressive shit goes, like, I don't know. Everyone's got to make their way out, whether it be with help or if you can do it on your own. Really, like, build the strength to do it on your own. I recommend it, you know. Do things that you love, do things that make you happy, because sometimes I feel like we're waiting on somebody else to tell us what to do, you know, or whatever. Now, I use my cars, you know, as an excuse, whatever. That's my medium. But it's not so easy for everybody else sometimes, you know how it goes. So, yeah.
I got lost on what we're
Dude, I don't even know what the fuck. We just started talking about random shit.
Okay, but now let's get to the last topic. Kanye West's new album. For the 3 viewers, I'm assuming you guys were looking forward to this. Sadly, we left it to the very end. It's been a while, and we just talked about Mac Miller and
a bunch of other shit, yeah.
Random tangents throughout the conversation of Mac Miller. Like, we really steered away from Mac Miller.
Core.
But it's cool because so this podcast, the videos, whatever, like, I really do want to make this long term. For me, dude, I've been wanting to do YouTube for a while, but holding that fucking camera in front of my face in public, it's a scary thing, and it's just like one of those things that I had to like really face if I really want to make something of it. Like, obviously I don't want to I mean, I wouldn't mind making it a career, but it's just like
dedication,
my medium, I guess.
Time,
you know, like you said, like your cars are your medium. This is what I want it to be. But I think with what we're doing right now for this, it's a good medium because I don't have to be out in public finding something to do so I can record it and then be like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and then just be shy once I'm there. So I really like this. It'd be amazing to make something of it, like maybe even like get a room, like, I don't know, because I do plan on moving out with Gabby this year. Fucking get a 2-bedroom apartment or something like that. Make one room especially for videos, because that's if this shit starts going well too. Because I would love to have a dope ass room for it. But yeah, I really do plan on keeping this up. Is with you by my side and shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cool. And I, like, man, I'll tell you right now, like, I've never been a video person. I've never been camera happy. Like, it's just not my thing. It never. I take more pictures of my cars than I do of myself, you know? And then my girl takes more pictures of me than I ever have, you know? Than I ever have of my fucking self. So, to me, yeah, like, you know, she had the idea, too, of doing YouTube. She loves that shit. I love watching YouTube. Recently, I've really got into Donut Media, which is very car-based. I don't know what you guys are going to be into. Just a heads up, we don't give a fuck about what you think. We're just being passionate about the things that we love. And hopefully we can connect, you know? If you have any ideas or things that you want to, you know, us to talk about, we'll have people guest star. We'll talk about, like, you know, like Shake said at the beginning, we'll talk about cars, we'll talk about music, we'll talk about community, we'll talk about, you know, whatever the fuck it is you guys want to talk about. Shit, you know, give us a holler, you know, be the next guest star, do something. You know, get out of your bubble just the way that we're getting out of our bubble, you know? You know, be the next guest star. Yeah. Like, get out of your bubble, man. That's all it is. That's all it takes. Maybe it's just because I can't really see my face in focus right now that I've been talking so calmly. It is fucking hot in here, so I'm sorry if I've been fanning myself or whatever the fuck, but On a real note, like, get to know us. We want to get to know people. We don't want to be the type of YouTubers or whatever the fuck you want to call us that
Very two-faced.
shy away. Yeah, fuck all that shit, dude. Like, cause here, it's a small town, but you get a little bit of everything, and you get the people who just want that clout, just want that fame, and they don't give a fuck. You know, daddy bought their car, or you know, whatever the fuck it was. Flex that shit hella hard, and you're like, yo, you know, do your thing, but be cool about it. You know, you ain't nothing special. You ain't nothing. You know. It's cool. Like, you know, we're proud of our community. We're proud of what everybody's done around here to do what they got to do. But sometimes I wish that we were more, I don't know, community based. To whereas I don't think a lot of people give a fuck if what their neighbors, you know, if their neighbor's okay or if, you know, whatever. Something I really would like. Something I'd like to connect to the community in a way or another. You know, like I said, I do that through my cars, nationally and internationally. You know, I just try to connect with whoever I can, just because that's the type of person that I am. I take interest in other people's lives and in what they're doing, just because, I don't know, maybe it's the way I was raised, or that's just the way, you know, that I like to go about things. But, you know, take the time, man. Take the time to do what you want to do. Follow your dreams. Even if you're a little uncomfortable, like Shig said, you know, right now we're starting here. You know, in a couple of months we could be somewhere else. We could finally just overcome that fear of fucking, you know, being in public with a camera in our face. And someday, you know, it'll come. But for now, we're in this room. We're talking about the shit that we like. Like he said, we went on some tangents. We talked about the, you know, things that have always just been going on in our head, and we've just never ever had a way to, like, release it. I
mean, we'll release it on one another.
Yeah.
But I mean,
no homo. Yeah.
I was expecting something like that to come, but just kind of share with more people. Be like, okay, like, it's cool. Like, if you're really willing to listen to what other people say, like, that's cool. I always thought that was cool. Listening to everybody's side of their story, of their life, you know, because it's crazy.
We think very much about other people.
We're making a video in this room right now, and the neighbors, completely different life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what the fuck they're doing, and
yeah,
like, it's interesting. Probably more than 7 billion people. No, how many is it?
Yeah, more than 7 billion. Yeah.
7 billion people on this earth. And everybody has a unique life. Everybody's thinking different shit. Everybody's feeling different shit. It's crazy, and that is a fucking trip. Like, okay, I feel the way I'm feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but he definitely feeling something different, and we're right next to each other. 2 completely different lives in one fucking room.
And Mac Miller and Kanye West are... See, we start with something like this because it's relatable. I mean, you know, whatever you do, whatever you listen to, hip-hop might not even be the only genre that we cover, but it's relatable, and that's where we connect, and that's where we want to do, because, you know, like Shig said, him and me feel completely different things, even though we're inches from each other. Now, let's compare to someone that everybody knows about, and let's really take them into perspective as human beings, and not so much as, you know, this thing that the media has made them. I just want to really believe that we as human beings can be so much more than what we are, you know? And we have these artists to thank and to realize and to, you know, push ourselves to be better. Now, I'm not saying, you know, Mac Miller is my role model because he did a bunch of drugs. I did a bunch of drugs, and that's just how I related to him, you know? And then slowly he grew up, and slowly I grew up alongside him. So yeah, I mean, that's all it takes, man. It takes a little bit of everything just to come all together. Let's see if I can, hold on, don't talk, you can edit this shit out. Fuck ads, yo, fuck Fortnite for all those ads, for real. I've seen like 40 Fortnite ads.
There's Fortnite ads?
Yeah, dude, oh my god. So yesterday I was on YouTube for like 10 minutes, I saw 6 of them. Yeah, that shit sucked.
Most most beautiful thoughts are always besides the darkest.
I just messaged Tyler. I was like, you know, these so many people for it. Like, me and Julio are like making videos. Like,
Today I seriously
we could
thought
wreck that
about
shit.
killing you. I contemplated premeditated
Pull up
murder.
the genius.
Oh, that's what I had.
And I think about killing myself, and I love myself way more than I love you, so...
Hey, he's talking about
Today I
fucking
thought
white.
about
Kill
killing
somebody. It's been years since Bobby Shmurda
Premeditated
talked about
murder.
killing somebody. I said we swap him out. Free Bobby Shmurda.
Nah, bro, I'll keep Kanye. I'll keep Kanye for real.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
like, I don't know, like, so shout out to Bobby Shmurda. You know, free Bobby Shmurda. But, you know, Kanye, for all the shit that he's going through or whatever, yo, I get it, man. Like, he was raised by a single mother. His mom died. We know the meltdowns that he had after his mom's death. I personally know what it's like having a dead parent. You know, it's a trip, dude, because all of a sudden you, or, you know, at least you have this voice of reason. You know, whatever you are when you're younger, it's just a job. It's our job to be assholes, I think, to our fucking parents. But he had that voice of reason, and then all of a sudden that voice of reason is gone. You have no sense of direction. You have no sense of if you're doing right or wrong. You know, and if he does suffer from bipolarity, you know, I hope he seeks help. Because to me, dude, that shit's so sad. Like, you know, I had a bipolar girlfriend. And that shit sucked, dude. I mean, like, you know, I hope she's doing well. I hope Kanye's doing well, whatever. But man, like, it's hard, bro. Like, it's hard to really be who you are. Because, like, and especially for him being an artist and the, you know, the, what would you call it? Like, the impact that he's made. Fuck, the fucker's been on the scene for longer than I can remember. Like, I remember when, like, what the fuck was the name? Dude, like, a graduate, you know, all those old ass, like, late registration, graduation, fuck, like, Through the Wire. So when I first heard Kanye West, Through the Wire was the first song that I heard. I must have been in like the 4th or 3rd grade. And I still remember that shit, dude. So obviously he's a monumental artist. Through the Wire, he had been shot through the mouth, and they had to wire his jaw shut or something. He got jumped. He didn't get shot. He got jumped or some shit. And they had to wire his fucking jaw shut. And his first mainstream song was with his fucking jaw shut.
Oh, yeah.
Through the Wire was a whole thing about how, you know, his life in Chicago and how he made it out or whatever the fuck. But yo, you could tell the motherfucker had, you know, his fucking jaw shut by the time, the way he was fucking rapping. And you're just like, fuck, bro. Like, you know, you think about the shit that this motherfucker's been through. And then to go and talking shit about him, like, yo, that's just unacceptable, bro. Like, whatever the fuck this who's been through, like, he has the right to have his opinion like anybody else. Now, I'm not saying his opinion is right, but I'm saying he can say where the fuck he wants. If that's what he really thinks, he has his right to it. With all this shit lately, dude, and I don't know how much his mental illness is affecting him. Like I said, without his mom in his corner, like, I don't know. I don't know how well his wife sustains, you know, that whole shit. Because, you know, and that's something I've always appreciated about women. My mom, you know, I don't know about your mom or how much she's dealt with your dad or whatever. With my girl, like, you know, the shit that they put up with sometimes is fucking ridiculous. So I don't know how Kim Kardashian does it, because we all see that shit, you know, from like an outside perspective. But she's holding this hand through it, and I'm surprised, dude. I'm not gonna talk shit on the Kardashians.
And it's crazy, dude. A love a woman has for a guy is crazy. I feel like it's a lot greater than what a man gives to the woman. Because for me, I don't always feel like I do fucked up shit just because of the way I am. But Gabby will be like, hey, like, that's fucked up. Like, it's betraying my feelings.
Yeah.
And, you know, every relationship has its arguments, and it always has, like, its big ones sometimes, like, some that will either make or break the relationship at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like, sometimes I will be at fault, and, like, it's my reason that she'll, like, give me the ultimatum and be like, either you fix your shit or I'm leaving. But I'm like, fuck, I look back and be like, damn, like,
you're right.
I was kind of fucked up, like, I will admit it. but she's deciding to still stick through it.
Yeah, even then, like, even when you choose to, maybe it's not that you choose to be a dickhead, but, you know, some things that's just the way we are. We're not gonna, you know, and even if we want to change, you know, it's not just an overnight thing. Like, it takes time to change who you are as a person and grow. And they still stick with us, you know. So, shout out to Kim Kardashian, you know, whatever she may be doing or whatever, you know, I'm not proud of who she is or whatever, but, yo, the fact that she's dealt with it and you just kind of stuck with him, like, that's cool, because yo, I don't know, man, like I said, losing a parent is fucking tough. Just the whole, you know, directional, like, not knowing what to do next, like, that's fucked, man. Like, I don't know, I feel for Kanye, that's for sure, bro, like, that's for damn sure. On a personal level. So I don't know. With this new album, this is my favorite song off of it. It was I Thought About Killing You. Which, yo, I mean, I totally get that shit, bro. Like he said, like, I've thought about killing myself. You know, so most definitely I thought about killing you. Like, the next line is what is it, like,
oh, fuck. We're gonna have to wrap this shit up soon.
Fuck. How much time you have there?
I have no idea, but the battery's already blinking.
You can't charge and record at the same time?
Uh-uh.
Damn. Yeah, so, I don't know, man. But with this song, I like that direction that he took with it. I wouldn't say, like, it's like any of his other work. If we were to go into some long-ass rant about his discography, Graduation was, like, my favorite album. So that's the old-school Kanye, upbeat, maybe not so fucking vocal about his mentality or whatever, but, you know, like, everyone grows, bro. Everyone grows, especially these artists, and that's only because we see it every year. They drop an album or a project or whatever. Dude, he's just going through his shit. He's still young, you know. He's a dad now. He's got 2 kids. I think he's got another one on the way, right, or some shit like that. Some shit, man. But he's just doing the best that he can, I believe, or I'd like to believe at least. With this new album, I like the direction he took with it. I like it better than Yeezus.
I feel like it's very forthcoming of, like, him really accepting.
Yeah, who he is as a person, and I'm glad, dude, because if he's been dealing with this shit for his whole life, I'm glad that he's finally speaking out about it. For real.
And it's crazy, because, like, earlier you talked about the depression, and if you really do feel that way, you should find some help. And it's crazy because we all go through our own shit. We think we can get through it alone, but sometimes, like, I have my mental breakdowns. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, like I'll just get through it by myself. Like I always have. I just keep shit bottled up inside because I don't feel like it's worth talking about. But at one moment, you do realize, like, I really do need some help. Mental health issues, not something you can get done on your own, even if you think so. So let me just give the disclaimer. Battery's about to die. We will go on for as long as we can till the battery dies. Don't know if we'll follow it up, but we will follow up with another video. I want to do one maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, however many we can push out in a month. Obviously something different every time we make one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to get this out, like, on a podcast, like Anchor. They're like a podcast app or whatever. So I don't know if I can get the audio from this video and just throw that shit on there. On Apple, I don't know where the fuck. I'm gonna really try and do my best to push this because I like it. It's really the direction I want to go. But now back to Kanye West.